these vessels carrying critical commodities for India, such as fertilizers, crude oil, and finished products, are being actively monitored and escorted during their transit. ION's contribution has been well acknowledged and appreciated by the national agencies. The Navy has consistently been the first responder and the lead in aggressively responding to maritime incidents in the Arabian Sea and Southwest Indian Ocean region. ION launched Operation Sankalp in the Arabian Sea to counter the drone attacks on the merchantmen. Further, the Navy is actively engaged off the east coast of Somalia and Southwest Indian Ocean region to completely thwart the acts of piracy. Till date, the Indian Navy has responded to 13 incidents in this region. In response to drone attacks, ION ships have embarked specialist explosive ordnance disposal teams on motor vessels to sanitize the vessels by removing the residual risks. While the Navy has remained focused towards thwarting attacks by drones, countering acts of piracy, and rendering assistance to merchant vessels, we have continued to coordinate with international and national agencies to counter non-traditional threats plaguing the region. The recent incident of a coordinated operation at sea in the last month must be fresh in your minds, wherein the Indian Navy and the Narcotics Control Bureau apprehended a suspicious vessel carrying 3,300 kgs of narcotics, which is by far the largest haul in terms of quantity. ION ships have been going all out against the nefarious activities of the pirates at sea, which disrupt maritime trade and endanger the safety of life of seafarers. The Indian Navy has been aggressively involved in the rescue of more than 100 crew members from 6 hijacked merchant vessels and fishing vessels in the Arabian Sea and southern IOR, including 30 Iranian and 27 Pakistani fishermen. I will now briefly highlight the recent daring and successful action of the Indian Navy against pirate ship MV Rowan. MV Rowan was hijacked by Somali pirates on 14 December 23. The hijacked vessel was initially intercepted by the Indian Navy on 15 December 23, and we were able to successfully negotiate the release of one injured crew member after more than 48 hours of coercive actions. Subsequently, on 14th March, the motor vessel Rowan was again monitored transiting from the coast of Somalia into the high seas with the possible intention of hijacking opportune merchant vessels plying through the region. Accordingly, Kolkata and Sea Guardian RPA were diverted to investigate the vessel. Rowan was intercepted AM 15th March, and a surveillance drone was launched by the ION ship, which confirmed the presence of armed pirates on board. In a hostile act, the surveillance drone was targeted and engaged by the pirates. Consequently, through consistent efforts and calibrated tactical actions, ION ship Kolkata successfully compelled the pirates to recalibrate and shift from their aggressive stance to a point of negotiation and surrender, and on the terms dictated by the Indian Navy. The persistence of the ION ship, coupled with augmentation of force levels on the scene through the deployment of INS Subhadra and the combat expendable platform drop of Marcos 1,400 miles from the Indian coast with assistance of the Indian Air Force, was the final nail in the coffin. This enabled the surrender of pirates and safe evacuation of the hostages. In addition, the iron ship played a pivotal role in sanitizing the vessel for piracy triggers, residual risk management, and most importantly, provided assistance in making ruin seaworthy again.
Operation. Excellent operation. You save our souls.
ISIS Kolkata!
All 35 pirates were apprehended on board. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that as we speak, a short while ago, these 35 pirates have been handed over to the police authorities at Mumbai for further legal proceedings. These valiant efforts by the Navy have garnered wide recognition from friendly foreign countries and extra-regional forces operating in the Indian Ocean region. The ongoing operations and actions by the deployed iron units in support of maritime security operations in the region have also garnered appreciation from various international organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, the volatile situation in the region is being closely monitored in coordination with all stakeholders. The 100 days maritime security ops reaffirm the IN as a credible and responsible maritime force in the Indian Ocean region, committed to protecting maritime trade, commerce, and safety of seafarers, irrespective of nationality. The series of assistance provided to MVs by the Indian Navy has further bolstered our credibility as a first responder and preferred security partner. The Indian Navy remains combat ready, credible, cohesive, and future-proof towards ensuring safe seas and a secure maritime environment in our backyard, and will remain poised in consonance with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of security and growth for all in the region. Jai Bharat, Sharno Varuna.
Good morning to all of you, friends from the media, flag officers, officers from the tri-services. Welcome to this media briefing on the occasion of 100 days of completion of naval operations, I would say joint operations in a sense, at sea. We call it Op Sankalp. And let me also welcome you to the Nausena's new headquarters, the new headquarters which was inaugurated recently. This building is not just a building but a symbol of Naya Bharat and Naya Nausena and the progress of both our nation and the Navy. Inspired from Bharat's maritime heritage and Bharatiya Nausena's modern history, it indeed represents the aspirations of a rising Bharat as well as the rising maritime consciousness of our country and our resurgence as a maritime power. I would say this building is actually representative of नई भारत की नई नौसेना और नई नौसेना की नई सोच का प्रतीक. That's what is symbolized by this building and by our presence here today to project and convey to you that we have completed 100 days of sustained operations at sea in combating these three major operations: anti-piracy, anti-drone, anti-missile, in the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, the North Arabian Sea, and the sea off the east coast of Somalia. So this is a testament to the new and confident Bharatiya Nausena, and we are trying to wear the new identity of Bharat. So, ladies and gentlemen, this 100 days of sustained Op Sankalp has also broken the myth of short and swift operations. So, therefore, there is a need to realize that we need to be able to carry forward sustained operations if we need to ensure there is safety, security, and stability in the oceans. The pace of operations has been quite high, and you may ask, are we able to sustain it? But indeed, I just want to say that as of yesterday, we had 11 submarines operating simultaneously at sea. We had more than 35 ships operating at sea. We had more than 5 aircrafts deployed in different parts of the Indian Ocean. So we are making sure that our assets are deployed in an optimal manner to ensure that it covers the areas of interest and gives us the best information so that the maritime domain awareness and the requisite degree of transparency is achieved. So with that, I would stop here, and I'll take on any questions that you have about, particularly about Op Sankalp and this, the operations that we are currently undertaking. Thank you. Jai Bharat.
Rajiv Ranjan. Hand over the mic.
सर राजीव रंजन एनडीटीवी इंडिया। मेरा सवाल ये है कि भारतीय नौसेना ने ऑपरेशन संकल्प चलाने का फैसला कैसे लिया और अब तक क्या क्या प्रोग्रेस हुआ है, कितने शिप हैं, क्या है, जरा अगर डिटेल में बता सकें, और अभी कितने ऑपरेशन चले और ये कब तक चलेगा सर?
ये ऑप संकल्प हमने स्टार्ट किया है करीब ऑप संकल्प का फर्स्ट वर्जन was started more than 4 years back. In fact, in 2019 we had started Op Sankalp. That was essentially to provide protection to the ships coming out of the Persian Gulf because there were some attacks being carried out on the vessels there. And this we have sustained with the presence of just one ship continuously to see that our merchant vessels are safe while transiting to the Persian Gulf and back. Once we got information about vessels being targeted by drones, by missiles, and then by the pirates, then we renewed this Op Sankalp into the phase 2 part of it, and that's why we started this around the mid of December, 14th of December or so, and we have been deploying continuously. I would say about 10 ships are present in this entire region to counter all these, to take part in all these 3 tasks: anti-piracy, anti-hijacking, anti-missile, and anti-drone. So right from the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden to the North Arabian Sea and to the east coast of Somalia. So this is the area that we are operating, where we have deployed these ships. So the task is to ensure that we ensure that there is safety security and stability, so that merchant vessels which are carrying our essential requirements, be it crude oil, be it products being taken back from here, or fertilizers, all that, reach our shores safely. And at the same time, this is a part of our mission deployed assets as well. And because they are deployed there, they're able to respond quickly whenever there is an attack or some incident that is happening. They are at the scene, and we are able to live up to the requirement of being a first responder and a preferred security partner to ensure that we work in collaboration with our other friendly foreign countries to ensure that there is Indian Ocean region is safe, secure and stable. आपने पूछा कि ये कब तक चलेगा? तब तक चलेगा जब तक ये इंडियन ओशन रीजन सेफ नहीं होगा, ठीक है? So there is no time limit we can put on it, but we will ensure that we are deployed there and we will take a positive, proactive and affirmative action to ensure that the region is safe and secure.
Ms. Smriti.
So this is Smriti from the print. I have two questions. Why exactly has there been an increase in piracy now with Houthi attacks? And will HRA come back in Arabian Sea?
This HRA has already come back in many ways. Some notifications have already happened by the agencies from London. The insurance rates have gone up. Abhi it has gone up by almost 35 to 40%. The container costs have gone up from $500. It has gone up to close to $2,000 or $2,000 plus. It was shown in the briefing also that almost 40 to 50% of the ships have the companies have started rerouting their ships around the Cape of Good Hope. Now, isse kya hoga? The freight charges will go up, the insurance charges will go up, and where is the effect going to be felt? The effect is going to be felt by you and me, people like us as consumers. The cost is going to get passed on to us. So therefore, we are taking proactive action to say that we will escort the ships and make sure that you're safe if you come through the Red Sea and do your normal passage. So this is our effort to ensure that this sort of disturbances are put to rest and disorder doesn't prevail in the Indian Ocean region. So that is the effort that we are pursuing. Yeah, the piracy, see, we have been involved in anti-piracy operation from 2008 onwards, and we had taken action then also, or ye dhire dhire this had reduced over a period of time. Between 2018 to almost till October of last year, 2023, there were hardly any piracy attempts. It had become just one or two at best. And we thought it had come to an end. And there were a lot of multinational forces also present there. We used to have about 50 odd multinational ships present in this area, also participating in anti-piracy operation. So this had helped to reduce the the possibility of piracy. But suddenly we saw in October we had the Israel-Hamas war suddenly starting. And then the attack by the Houthis had started, and in this the situation when there were more forces concentrated towards the Red Sea and some semblance of I would say disorder started happening there. I think there were people who took this opportunity to get into piracy. And that is how this piracy is, has again resurfaced as a industry, I would say, to profiteer or to gain from disorder that is happening in that area. And we are determined that we will not permit it. So that's why we are taking affirmative action.
Mr. Rahul Singh.
Morning, sir. Sir, I just wanted to know if any of our ships have been targeted or have come close to being targeted by the Houthis.
None of our Indian flagged vessels have been targeted. The Houthis have been targeting any vessel which has got links with Israel, either Israel owned or Israel flagged, or going to Israel, and or any linkages with Israeli business houses. So that has been their target. And they have also been targeting some of the ships which are flagged with the Western countries, the US and UK. So this is what we have been observing. But why do we have an interest in this? We have an interest because there are Indian crew on board almost all these ships. So as far as we are concerned, Bharat's national interest also extends to our personnel who are there all over the world. So therefore, when any of these ships are targeted, we try to help them, we rescue them, provide assistance, and this we are not just doing just for our nationals, but any vessel in distress as required by the law of the sea.
Ms. Anju Nirwan.
सर दिस इज अंजू फ्रॉम TV9 भारतवर्ष सर अभी आज इंडियन नेवी ने जो INS कोलकाता से 35 सोमाली समुद्री लुटेरों को मुंबई पहुंचाया है और मुंबई पुलिस को हैंडओवर किया है, क्या इससे पहले भी इस तरीके के हैंडओवर्स पायरेट्स को लेकर इंडियन नेवी करती रही है और कब कब किए हैं?
ये पिछले 10 साल में दिस इज द लार्जेस्ट ऑपरेशन वेयर वी हैव गॉट अबाउट 35 सोमाली पायरेट्स. बहुत पहले हो चुका है क्योंकि 2011 में या उससे पहले भी we have captured pirates and we have brought them to trial in Bharat. So, but in the last about 10 years or so, ये पहली बार ये हो रहा है, and because as I said, piracy had reduced considerably and it had almost stopped. So that is why this was an important operation where we have been searching for the mothership. तो इनका ये modus operandi है कि they will first capture a merchant ship, उसको सोमालिया ले जाएंगे, फिर उसी के ऊपर they put more pirates and they get stored with food, water, fuel and all, and then they keep the crew on board while they are negotiating for a ransom, etc. And then they use this ship as a mothership to come out and do piracy attacks on the other vessels which transit through that area. So इनके पास high speed boats, high speed OBMs, arms, ammunition, ये सब लेके इसके ऊपर they use it as a mothership. So that is what we are trying to stop.
Mr. Sudhir Ranjan Sen.
Sir, Sudhir Ranjan from Bloomberg, sir. If you could give us an understanding on the missiles and the drones that have attacked, what is the origin of these? Because you must have now been able to find out where they're originating from. Two, as you said, they're targeting Israeli flagged or ships linked to Israel. Is there a way you can give us an understanding where they're getting the intelligence from that a particular ship is going to Israel or not going to Israel and therefore attack it?
So, if you have a look at the geography of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, it comes through a very narrow strip of ocean of the sea called the Bab el-Mandeb. So it is not very, very wide. So it's like it's a choke point. So when the ships pass through up and down, they are very, very close to land. And all ships use something called the AIS, Automatic Identification System. तो उससे पता चलता है कि what is your identity, आप कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, what cargo you're carrying, कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, कहाँ जा रहे हैं, all those details are available. So, and this information is available worldwide, because of the current connectivity and so on. So therefore, the ships at sea and as well as people ashore, especially in Yemen, which is very close to Bab el-Mandeb, wahan if you have AIS receivers and radars and tracking network, you are able to identify which ships are passing through that place. So therefore, it is easy for them to monitor कि कौन-कौन जा रहा है, कौन-कौन क्या कर रहे हैं, और किस nationality का है, किस flag का है, etc. So they identify these and then they start targeting them. So it's the Houthi, the rebels who are actually in Yemen who are actually doing this, and they have been targeting with missiles, ballistic missiles, with normal shore-to-ship missiles and drones. So this is there with them, and this is what they have been using. They have been using drones for surveillance as well, which tells them, the identity of the ship and, visual identity they get of the ships as well. So, actually nowadays these drones can be manufactured by anybody. It uses, like one of the drones that what we got, what we recovered from one of the merchant ship. It had a capability to travel 1600 kilometers, and it was made of plywood and basic material like that. It had an engine which is a moped engine, a 4-stroke moped engine, and it had very, very basic and I would say elementary electronics, PCBs on board. So this is not a very complicated thing, and it can be, I think it's made probably even locally by these people.
Mr. Dinakar Peri.
And I would also like to say that what this is now brought to the fore is the cost asymmetry between the attacker and the defender. So you make a drone for, say, as cheap as less than 20 lakhs, maybe 10 to 20 lakhs. And if you have to defend it and you have to shoot it down and you launch a missile, that missile will cost you maybe 5 crores or 10 crores. So you see the asymmetry that has been brought in by using a low-cost weapon against a high-cost defending system.
So Dinakar Peri with the Hindu.
Yeah, Dinakar.
Sir, you have brought these pirates to Bombay. So what is the jurisdiction for their, how will we try it? So because the new law came in 2022, the anti-piracy law. So how will that work now? Can you just present something?
So earlier we never had an act or any law. So it was quite nebulous. In our earlier operations, whenever we captured, there were hardly any place where you could take them for handing over. Only Yellow Gate police station was in Mumbai was nominated for handling them. But now all coastal police stations have been empowered. We have this Anti-Piracy Act, which has been a great enabler for the security forces, particularly for the Navy, since we are involved in anti-piracy operations. So what this, there are very few countries which have an act like this, and with this has empowered us to visit, board, search and seize any suspicious vessel, craft, fishing boat, dhow, whatever where we suspect, we board, we inspect, and if we find piracy triggers like high-speed OBMs or skiffs or weapons or ammunition, then we take action to ensure that they are don't proceed with their mission. So this has been a great enabler, and that is one of the reasons why we have been successful. Just to tell you, in the last 100 days, we must have done more than 1,000 boardings. That is and boarding a vessel at sea is not easy. You may have seen in the videos as well. When you're out at sea on a ship, you see hundreds of crafts. There are roughly about 1,800 crafts of all types, from fishing vessels to merchant vessels and all. Just to board one vessel will take, and to inspect it thoroughly will take you nothing less than 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. So that is the type of effort that is required if you want to inspect a vessel and certify that it is clean or clear and is not involved in illegal activities.
Mr. Siddhant Sibbal.
Hi sir, Siddhant from Beyond. How do you assess the situation in the western part of the Indian Ocean? Do you think the situation is going to exacerbate in the next few months, or will there be a low phase as well? And my second question is, we saw the drone attack on Chem Pluto as well. Anything that the investigation has revealed as to who was responsible for the usage of that drone, the attack which happened near the Indian exclusive economic zone?
So definitely, as I said, these drones can be made with very little expertise. It doesn't require any very complicated tools to develop or to manufacture these drones. They are, as I said, they are very, very basic drones, and in various countries these are being made for different purposes. So what we understand is they could have been very well launched by the Houthis. Where they got it from, either they made it themselves or they could have got it from some other country who has been helping them. Some assessment that we had is that they generally operate in pairs. When they suspect a vessel they want to target is operating in a particular area, they launch two of them. One has got a camera which tries to locate and provides that communication of whether it's the target or not, and the second one is a kamikaze drone. So that one carries the explosive. So roughly our estimate is that it carries about 40 kgs of explosives, and it has got ranges it can target up to about roughly 1500, 1600 kilometers. But it, as I said, it's made of very, very basic stuff. It has got a moped 4-stroke engine, and it is launched, and thereafter it just continues. So, so that is, as far as the drone is concerned, we have analyzed it, and this is the findings that we have. It could have been made anywhere, and these engines are now very commercially available, so you can't really pinpoint to any particular country or so. Whether this the situation in the Western Indian Ocean is volatile, I would say it is indeed volatile. It is not. It is definitely not stable. Will it worsen? It may not worsen. It may continue like this. It is definitely linked to some extent on the Israel-Hamas conflict. If that stops or it gets reduced, then definitely here also we can see it tapering off and or stopping or coming down. But we are determined to ensure that it doesn't get escalated. We are going to ensure that the region is safe. We are not going to ensure that we are going to ensure that piracy doesn't take a toll on the shipping there, and we'll try and protect and our mariners and the ships which are passing through.
Mr. Neeraj Rajput.
सर मेरा सवाल ये है कि जिस तरह से हम लोग पायरेट्स के अगेंस्ट में जो एक्शन लेते हैं, ऑपरेशंस करते हैं, तो बहुत कॉशियसली हम लोग उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लेते हैं. लेकिन क्या ये स्थिति जब गल्फ ऑफ एडन में हुतीज़ के अगेंस्ट में आएगी, क्योंकि हमने देखा कि वो हाईजैक भी कर रहे हैं शिप्स, तो उनके अगेंस्ट में हमारा क्या एक्शन रहेगा? कि एज ए पायरेट्स हम लोग ट्रीट करेंगे या एज ए टेररिस्ट हम लोग उनको ट्रीट करेंगे?
तो देखिए, अभी as far as भारत is concerned, they have not targeted any of our Indian flag vessels or vessels which are plying to Indian ports and so on. So as far as we are concerned, we really have no quarrel with them, and we are any of our but we have our ships deployed there which can protect our shipping if there is a need to do so. We are escorting them now, and essential cargo, that is fertilizers, crude, finished products. These are being escorted at the request of our common ministries, and that is what we have been doing. And they have, we have had a large number of ships escorted, which is about 150 lakh tons of commodities have been escorted very safely in the last 100 days. So we will continue to do that. We will watch the situation.
Mr. Kalyan Ray.
Sir, what led you to bring these 35 pirates to Bombay for trial, and not the other pirates that we captured before them? What did you do with those pirates that you captured before this?
The earlier the pirates were they were small in number. There were only about 11 of them, and they surrendered immediately. They didn't, fire back at us. So there is no self-defense or anything involved, and they released the hostages. So we put them, as per international law, we should ensure that they have adequate khana, pina, fuel, and to get back to the country. So that's what we had done with them. But in this case, this is, they were on a mothership. They had pirated a vessel for over 3 months, and there were 17 crew of different nationalities on board. So we had to, fire on them. They fired at us. We had to retaliate in self-defense. Of course, we had applied the principles of necessity and proportionality to ensure that it is in a graduated manner that we retaliated. And after almost 40 hours of operation, and after seeing this joint operation with the Air Force, where we could, drop additional Marine commandos from the, from the C-17 at that range. So all this had played a part in ensuring that they surrendered. And this being a large number, we wanted to, convey the right message that if you undertake piracy, it is not going to be a profitable venture for you. You will, Bharatiya Nausena will be there, and we'll put a stop to it, and we'll bring you to trial.
Ms. Amrita.
So if you could just tell us about the origin of the missiles that has hit one of the...
Ma'am, these questions have already been asked. I'll request...
That was about the drones, sir. This is about the missiles.
Okay, these missiles are also being fired by the Houthis only. So, whether they've got the missiles from which country, probably Iran or somewhere, we do not know the origin, because we have not recovered any debris of the missiles per se. We have recovered debris of the drones. And which I said is all, it's a very, it can be made by anybody. It's a commercial technology, commercial COTS technology, we call it commercial off-the-shelf technology, so it can be developed easily in various places. It's a very commonly used parts for civilian applications which have been put together to make these things. The missiles we have not recovered, but they have ballistic missiles as well, which they have been firing. So we have not recovered any of it. So we do not know what is the origin, who has made it. But probably we are told that they get support from Iran, so it could have been from them.
So my second question is about the high operational availability of platforms, given that the Navy has a mixed bag of assets, both vintage and modern. So how do you ensure that?
So ships are meant for deployment for long periods. So that's one of the advantages. They have long sea legs, and whenever a ship is mission deployed, it goes out fully combat ready and capable of meeting all the roles, that is from combat role to diplomatic role to constabulary role to benign roles like HADR and so on. So whenever you deploy a ship, it is fully deployed for that, and a ship easily carries resources to sustain herself for minimum about 30 to 45 days in terms of rations and things like that. So all that is required is to ensure that she gets ammunition if it gets expended. She has fuel and any other stores that are required. So sometimes these ships are supplied by our tankers and the fleet support ships, or they do visit ports in the vicinity. We call them operational turnaround ports. They go there, they take whatever stores and supplies that they require, and then they come back on their deployment. So they have been on deployment for 3 months, 3.5 months, and so on. So this is the standard, the pattern of deployment. Whenever you deploy a ship, it goes out for sizable duration and stay at sea.
Mr. Snehesh.
So Snehesh Philip here from the print. Congratulations for this high tempo operation, sir. So my question is, you've carried out about 1,000 boardings of various vessels. During these boardings, have you found anything suspicious? And also, since you mentioned that these drones are basic drones and they work in pairs and they're targeting particular ships, which means that they operate in the sea for a much longer time. Do you think that these drones are operated from land, or do you suspect that there would be vessels at sea which are operating these drones? And also, the same.
Yeah, both are possible. These drones can be operated from land. It is easier to launch it from land. But there are ways and means of launching it from ships in a cassette sort of racks, which is available in the open source as well. So we have been on the search for such ships, but we couldn't find it so far. So therefore, our conclusion is that probably these are coming from the shore and carrying out these attacks. So we have not ruled out the possibility that it could come from some ship-based source as well. But so far we have not been able to get it. But it is possible very much to do both, to launch from the shore or launch from the any ship. Yeah, we have been tracking them. We have we keep very close track of all contacts, all air contacts, all surface contacts, all subsurface contacts. So this is what we call the MDA, or the Maritime Domain Awareness. And when our ships are deployed there, their sensors are operating. We come to know what are the contacts which are operating there, and we keep track of it. So that's how we get this information about any attacks or any incident that happens as well. And all this information goes to the IFC IOR at Gurugram, the Information Fusion Center, and there it gets collated and then it gets filtered and it's then passed on back to other ships in the vicinity.
Mr. Ajit Dubey.
Sir, morning. This is Ajit Dubey from ANI, sir. Sir, this MV Ruin was a merchant vessel which was turned into a pirate vessel by the pirates after hijacking it. Does the Indian Navy have any information about other such size ships which could have been hijacked by pirates and are being used or may be used for piracy in future? And sir, my second question, sir. Sir, this region, this entire region is for in terms of cargo and trade shipping. This is equally important for many other countries in the region, outside the region, like China and other nations. Are they also actively taking part in these operations to curb piracy, or they're just because we know the Chinese do send their anti-piracy teams to this area. So are they also, any other countries also doing anything to curb this, sir? Thank you, sir.
So, firstly about mother vessels, we have always suspected that mother vessels honge, and that is how suddenly they carry out attacks at various places. We have been searching for it for some time, but we always thought that it must be some dhows or smaller vessels which are being used. Then we were surprised when we came to know about this MV Ruin, which had been hijacked almost 3 months back, and it was inside Somalia in Somali waters, and it had been operating there. So now when we get all the records on board and we try to study it, then we come to know that these people have been operating this as a mothership, providing rations on board, arms on board, ammunition on board, adding more pirates, and coming out, getting hold of some ship, hijacking it, and then again going back. So they have been making 2 or 3 sorties like this for carrying out piracy operations in the role of a mothership. So we understand that in similar occasions, when they capture a merchant ship, they will try to use it. First they will negotiate for ransom. If they don't get the money, adequate money, then they try to capture more vessels using this. So we suspect there may be even a southern group which is operating, and roughly it may have anything between 30 to 60 pirates on board. So this one had 35. Maybe another group will have more. So we are on the lookout for it. You are aware that one MV Abdullah has been hijacked and it has been taken to Somalia. So we are now keeping a close watch on it, whether it is going to be used as a pirate ship, as a pirate mothership. So we are going to keep an even closer watch on the ships which are, operating in the Somali waters. And yeah, about the second, your second question was about what about the other units which are operating there. The multinational forces are operating in this area. Earlier there were about 55 ships on average every day. Abhi it has gone up to about 65 to 66. There's been an increase in the number by about 20%, I would say. And what are they there for? They are there for various groupings like the CMF, the Anti-Piracy Escort Force of China, the UNAV-4, and so on. So they are all there largely to ensure maritime security. So while they are participating in their own way and they are doing as per their national direction, we are very clear about what we have to do. This is the Indian Ocean. It is named after us. और हम लोग एक्शन नहीं लेंगे तो भारतीय नौसेना एक्शन नहीं लेगा तो कौन लेगा? So therefore we are very clear कि भारतीय नौसेना will take affirmative action to ensure there is safety and security in the Indian Ocean.
Mr. Sanjeev Rathi.
सर मैं संजीव राठी यूएनआई वार्ता से। अभी जैसे आपने बताया कि इतने ऑपरेशंस में नौसेना ने भाग लिया है, हमारी बड़े लार्ज स्केल पर एसेट्स वहाँ पर तैनात हैं, तो क्या कभी हमें कोई जान माल का नुकसान भी उठाना पड़ा है किसी ऑपरेशंस में, या और जैसे ये एमवी रूवेन वाला जो ऑपरेशन है ये बहुत बड़ा ऑपरेशन था, इसकी कुछ एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट भी आप बता सकते हैं सर?
तो अभी देखिए ये एमवी रूवेन एक मर्चेंट वेसल है, उसमें जो कार्गो था दैट वाज इट हैड 37,500 टन्स ऑफ स्टील प्लेट्स, स्टील कॉइल्स वगैरह वगैरह। तो कितने $1 बिलियन का है मेरे को पता नहीं है, लेकिन कार्गो था ही, एंड कार्गो हैड नॉट बीन रिमूव्ड। ऊपर से द कॉस्ट ऑफ द वेसल, कॉस्ट ऑफ अ मर्चेंट वेसल कम से कम $100 million तो होगा उसका कॉस्ट ऑफ द वेसल। So like that, the cost of a ship and its cargo is quite a bit. So मान लो एक when you take a container carrier, a large container carrier has almost 22,000 containers on board, और इसका कॉस्ट है जस्ट कार्गो अलोन इज $1 बिलियन। तो अगर इसको उन्होंने हाईजैक किया तो यू कैन इमेजिन व्हाट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ रेवेन्यू दे आर लुकिंग एट मेकिंग। सो देयरफॉर देयर इज अ सब्सटेंशियल कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व, और एज फार एज वी आर कंसर्न वी डू दिस ऑपरेशन फ्रॉम आवर बजट। जितना नेवी का बजट है, नेवी इज बजटेड फॉर इंश्योरिंग दैट देयर इज सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी इन द इंडियन ओशन, and therefore we operate within our budget. There is adequate budgetary support. अगर हमको ज़्यादा कोई requirement है तो case to case basis we take up with the government and it is approved. नहीं, अभी we have operated with due concern for the safety of our personnel. But आपने देखा होगा जो जब हमारे लोग जाते हैं for boarding, it is risky, क्योंकि एक तो we don't know कि वहाँ कौन है, whether they are armed, unarmed, etc. Second, when we know a vessel is in distress and we are going there, जैसे वो मार्लिन रुआंडा पे फायर हुआ था और it had 90,000 tons of naphtha. Naphtha आपको पता है कि is a very highly explosive and inflammable substance. वहाँ जाके 23 of our personnel were fighting the fire. बाकी देश के warships भी थे उधर, but वहाँ से nobody wanted to come on board and help, but we went and helped because अगर this ship explodes and the cargo gets spilled, this environmental damage will be in the Indian Ocean. That problem will be for us, not for those other countries. So therefore, we have to proactively go and ensure that we fight the fire and help that ship and render it safe.
We'll have the last question, Mr. Akash.
Hi sir, one important aspect of this operation was the distance. We were told that this was happening at a distance of more than 2,500 kilometers from the coast. If you can talk to us on that aspect. Also, multiple platforms were involved. C-17 of the Indian Air Force was also involved. How it went, what was the kind of coordination, and also on that aspect, the challenges in
this operation indeed was at a really extended range. Because earlier these piracy used to happen, much further to the east, closer to our borders, our maritime zones. But dhire dhire, because of our presence, they have moved back closer towards Somalia. And we were determined that even if it is closer to Somalia, we wanted to ensure that piracy is curbed. So therefore we were operating there. It is 1,400 miles from our coast, and that translates to almost 2,600 kilometers. So ships ka zyada problem nahi hai because they can reach there, they can sustain there, etc. But when you want to augment the force, that means you want more firepower, more combat troops, etc. Then the fastest way of induction is through the air, and that air assets are there with the Air Force. And we had worked very closely with the Air Force to say that to see how we can induct them. And both the C-17 and C-130 are capable of taking troops to through large distances. Of course, C-17 has got much more capability in terms of endurance and distance. So that is how the Marcos, with their equipment, with their boats, they were all taken from Mumbai to the drop zone and dropped, and to augment the boots on ground, so to say, to ensure that they are dropped there. So now you may also ask as to, so this was a very close, well-coordinated operation, a joint operation with the Air Force to ensure that these people are dropped safely and augment the effort there. So you may also ask as to why we are doing this at such a long range. Why are you not staying close to our shore? हमारे maritime zones में क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो? So the reason is, if I have to explain to you in very simple terms, the piracy is happening there in the Horn of Africa, in that region, the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and of Somali coast. और हमारा जो देश का जो requirements है, be it crude oil, be it fertilizers, be it other commodities, ये सब वहाँ से आएगा. It has to come from there. Now, if you don't take action, go out and take action to ensure it is safe to pass through that area, and if you keep waiting here, यहाँ कुछ नहीं आएगा, isn't it? So we have to therefore go there and ensure that it is safe, so that our trade can come through. So whatever we are importing and whatever we are exporting, it has to pass through these points. So that is why we are deployed there in large numbers to ensure that the trade, whatever we are importing, comes to Bharat, and whatever we are exporting, after value addition, that is also going safely and crossing that region and going out. If there is disorder at sea caused by the pirates or by Houthis or whoever is causing disorder there, फिर this trade will get disrupted. इसका effect, I told you, is that either it has to come all around Africa through the Cape of Good Hope, or and the insurance rates will go up. So finally, who will pay that cost? It's you and me. The citizens, the common man has to pay for it. So therefore, our effort is to ensure that our trade continues and safely and we get what we want at the price that we are supposed to pay, not at a higher price. And this is only going to become more and more important as we move from a 3 trillion economy to a 5 trillion economy, as we move from the 5th largest economy to the 3rd largest economy. तो ज़्यादा ट्रेड होगा, ज़्यादा इंपोर्ट होगा, ज़्यादा एक्सपोर्ट होगा, तो ये सब कहाँ से जाएगा? ये तो सी से ही जाएगा. So therefore, security of the maritime domain becomes very, very important as we see it in the years ahead also. I also want to say that we are now, when we become a 3rd largest economy, what does it mean? It means we are going to become a great power. So with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
I'll just elaborate on the question you asked. As far as the Air Force is concerned, strategic assets, that's the C-17 and C-130, are always on standby for short notice contingencies, HADR or out of area contingency, as it may be. In this case, we reacted at the shortest time, integrated at various levels with the Indian Navy, carried out joint briefings, primarily because we have not undertaken any operation so far away from the coast with the Indian Navy till today. So flight plans, communication plans, and the briefing with the Marcos, finding out the exact DZ, communicating with the naval ships. The aircraft was flown to 12,600 kilometers, dropped in a very coordinated manner. We ensured that all the Marcos were safely on the sea. And then the aircraft was recovered back to its base after almost a non-stop flight of 10 hours. So this is one of a kind of mission that we've done it with Navy. And I think in the time to come as our nation becomes a net security provider, we'll enhance our capabilities on this front.
So may I request the CNS now to give the closing remarks.
Any other questions? I'll take one last note. Okay.
Kunal.
So this is Kunal from PTI. Two-part questions. One is this 100-day operation that you mentioned. Does it in any way signifies Navy's moment in the sun as a credible first responder? And secondly, sir, we have visited last year the IFC IOR in Gurugram, and I think it happened just about a few days after the MV Rohini incident happened. So what was the role played by IFC IOR, especially in these 100 days among all the operations? And in the same breath, I must ask, how do you think India can take a leadership in perhaps forging a partnership with friendly foreign countries in ensuring that the global commons are safer for global goods? Thank you.
So we work on this doctrine of Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. So that is our guiding principle. So we work with all our friendly foreign countries to ensure that we exercise with them, help them build capacity, we train with them, provide courses, all that. So the role of IFC IOR is to ensure that we know we get information from our ships, from aircraft, submarines, all the assets, as well as we have linkages with many of these countries. We have their liaison officers posted there. We also have with some of these multinational constructs as well, who provide us information like UK MTO, and so on. So therefore, in IFC IOR, we have a fairly clear idea of who's where and doing what, both in terms of all types of shipping and assets. And the effort is to improve it and make it more and more transparent. So the case for the NMDA or the national MDA has also been approved. Work is in progress. So this will feed in more information from the diverse agencies and ministries which are involved in the maritime domain. There are more than 15 agencies and 7 ministries which are involved. So all of them will now get netted into this to provide a very, very comprehensive picture of what is happening at sea. So this is going to help us in maintaining a close vigil on the people who are transiting, the vessels which are transiting through the ocean, through our sea lanes of communication, and as to what they're up to and so on. Does that cover your thing, or you have something? Yeah. So, you have seen some of the letters and tweets and the messages which have come from the people we have rescued. As I said again earlier, I think Bharat is on the trajectory to become a great power, and with great power comes great responsibility. So we, in the maritime domain, as Bharatiya Nausena, we are determined that we'll protect, preserve, promote, and pursue our national interests in the maritime domain. Therefore, be it our nationals, be it our assets, be it our resources, whatever needs to be protected, we will work to ensure that we do a job. And I have been telling my people that you must do your job and do it well, and that's what they have been undertaking. So we have very close linkages with the other navies which operate here. We are part of the CMF, that Coalition Maritime Force. We also have interaction with the close linkages with UNAV-4, the European naval forces, and we exchange information on matters of the domain, and we try to assist and help each other to protect each other's merchant ships when they're transiting as well. And whatever information I have, we try to share it. It may not be as real time as desirable, but we are trying to make it as real time as possible. So the effort is on towards that. In that regard, we have made something indigenously called the NISHAR, Network for Information Sharing and Security. So that has been an indigenous software system that has been made, which can be, which doesn't require much hardware, and we have tried it out with many of our friendly foreign countries. We find it works well. That helps in transmitting the information very fast, almost real time, I would say, from ship to ship, ship to shore, shore to ship, and aircraft to ship, and ship to aircraft, all that. So it is being taken up with all the other countries to say that this is a very low cost option and fairly reliable. So that's what we are pursuing. So many of these navies have come forward to say that we'll work with you, and we want to ensure that the Indian Ocean is safe. But as I said, we are the largest resident naval power in Indian Ocean. The ocean is named after India, and I think it is Bharatiya Nausena's responsibility to ensure that IOR remains safe, secure, stable, and we will ensure that it is free, open, inclusive, and rules-based order is maintained. Okay, thank you. I think that's all, and I must compliment the media and for conveying the actions at sea and generating maritime consciousness amongst our population, amongst our people. But this has been a grey area for a long time. While we had a very rich and vibrant maritime heritage of thousands of years, over a period of time it had got forgotten, and we are now thankful to you for joining hands with us to ensure that we spread this message of how the maritime domain is important for us, how the oceans are important to Bharat, if we're looking at Bharat becoming a third largest economy. Thank you. Jai
Thank you,
Bharat.
sir. May I now request all of you to join us for refreshments. Kindly move up from your right, and there's a door, and you will be guided towards the launch.